Hi everyone. Wow, what a difference a pink lip makes. So, I am back with a video on aligning yourself with your purpose and knowing when to accept or reject. Reject is a strong word, so I'll say take or leave um an option, an opportunity, whatever the case may be, depending on whether or not that thing is aligned with your purpose. That's a long sentence, but I'll break it down, no worries. So, a lot of people reach out to me and they say that well, not a lot, a few people reach out to me and they say that one of the biggest struggles to living a more productive, organized, efficient, enjoyable, balanced life is they don't know their purpose. This is common among younger people, and by younger I mean, throughout your 20s. This can happen, especially in this country. That's a whole other diatribe, but I just don't think the education system is set up in such a way that it's easy for students to discover their strengths and to effectively decide what they want to do with their lives. But that's another topic. So, yeah, I guess it would be helpful if I give you just like a few quick tips on how to um uh, discover your purpose. It's late, so my mind is a little bit laggy. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just gonna give you a few tips on that, and then I will get into the process of making decisions that will align you with your purpose versus things that may derail you. They might slow you down. They might, give you things that you don't necessarily need to bog yourself down with thinking about. Um, a lot of those things can be circumvented if you know when to say no and when to say yes, basically. That sounds like a lot of pressure, but it's actually much easier once you identify what you want. So, with that, that neatly transitions us into ways you can identify your purpose. So, for me, I think there are two or three, because I didn't really think about this in advance, um, different sort of factors that will direct you to your purpose. And so, number one, identify what it is you enjoy doing. And it's got to be something constructive. And by constructive, I don't necessarily mean, because some people will say drawing isn't constructive when it is. And you can have a whole career based on drawing. We've got graphic designers, we've got artists, we've got people who design shoes, clothes, t-shirts, you name it. Architects. So, what I mean by constructive is it's not something that destroys your mind or your body or placates you or is harmful to other people. So, it's got to be something that it takes you. I think it should take you outside of yourself. So if you say, oh, well, I just enjoy drinking all day, although granted, maybe you can like start a blog on different types of alcohols or something. My brother did it, but he's not a drunkard. It's funny. I named that example and then immediately thought of the fact that my brother has kind of a beer blog, but he just really enjoys craft beers and wants to introduce them to more urban audiences, quote unquote. So that's that story. In case he or anyone he knows sees this, I don't mean that, he's like a drunkard and decided to make it into a thing. No, not at all. He, works for a bank, has a good job, um, goes home and isn't drunk all the time. Whatever. Tangent. But by that, I mean like being intoxicated isn't a hobby and it's not productive. Um, Abusing people, bullying people, fighting, arguing. Now, you can become a martial artist, so I don't necessarily mean fighting in that way, or like even a boxer, even though I'm no longer, I don't know, like I grew up seeing boxing, my family watched it, but I'm not a fan of boxing anymore because, like, the head injuries, like, that's not good. Anyway, so outside of that, I mean, if you don't aim to be like a terrorist or a bully or a self-abuser or I don't know, productive. So if you enjoy drawing, if you enjoy singing, if you enjoy telling stories, if you enjoy um math, you might be really good at math. Maybe it's like a hidden talent that no one really knows about. Maybe you were terrible in every other part of school, but you're really good at math. Or vice versa. Maybe you were really good with words and language and reading. Um, or maybe you were really good with history. Maybe you could memorize facts really well. There's a lane for you. And those might seem like very basic things. Surely everyone has something they enjoy doing and that they're good at. Even now, might be some cases like if you grew up around a lot of abuse and things like that. Maybe no one told that you were good at something, but you had like a secret talent. I think of Mariah Carey. She says that she had a very painful upbringing, but she would express, her anxiety and negative thoughts and painfulness, the pain she was experiencing through singing, and she would, sing alone in her room when she was like 3 and 4. And now look how that turned out. So, it could be just like a hidden talent that you might be afraid to show someone. Maybe you've told one person and they say, "Oh, you're good at this." Just start like a little blog, or you could start an anonymous Instagram page, or a social media page, a YouTube video of I don't know, a website. You can sell your designs online, things like that, build up an audience. You can go into like a more traditional path. For example, if you enjoy numbers, maybe you want to go to like actuary school, or like the people that calculate, I think they calculate insurance risk or whatever. But they work for insurance companies and deal with statistics and things. Perhaps you want to you could make courses online. If you enjoy history, you could do a podcast. You could work for the historical society. Just like get a job somewhere at a museum or whatever. But my point is, the starting point for getting into like a space where you are better able to realize your talents and develop a distinct direction is often just what you like to do and what you're good at. So I kind of combine 2 points in one. Um, yeah, so maybe those are the two things I wanted to say on that, but they're important. Um, I'm going to leave that there. So now I'm going to tell you ways you can align yourself with your purpose once you get even like a remote idea. And that's the thing. You might have just like the slightest idea of what you want to do, or you might have a long list of things you don't want to do. Let's say you don't know what you want to do, but you know what you don't want to do. I guess I could have made that into a separate point. Know exactly what you are unwilling to do, what you don't want to do, what you have no interest in, what you prefer not to do. Even if it's something you feel like you have to do right now, like work fast food or something like that, you might know that you don't want to do that for the rest of your life. Add it to your list. So once you've got at least a list of no's, hopefully a list of yeses, I enjoy this, I'm good at this, or, I enjoy it, but I'd be interested in really becoming much better at it. That's fair too. You could get training, you could take classes, you could join a club, whatever the case may be. Um, Once you've got those lists, then decision making becomes a lot easier. So basically, you're going to reject everything that does not align with your likes and your dislikes. Now, I say you might, the way I've been a little bit cautious. I've taken a lot of risks, but been a little bit cautious in that, you might need to hold on to like a backup job that you don't necessarily enjoy for a while until you find some other opportunity, um, or whatever the case may be. Like you might need to stay in school and get a degree, even if it might be something you can do to make money, but it might not be your ultimate dream. But once you get that degree and you've got income and your basic needs are made, then, take off in the direction of that dream, whether you need to save so that you can quit that job for a few months and still live, or whether you can, after work and in between hours, whatever, you can work on that dream. Those are things you can do. But so that's the exception, if you need to do something that you feel doesn't necessarily directly align with your purpose, but you need the basics covered. You need money, you need food, you need shelter. And I don't mean do anything dangerous or unsafe, or, don't, yeah. um, Respect yourself and value yourself. That's another video. So now that we've got the list of things we want to do, things we don't want to do, and we know not to accept anything that does not align with our purpose, then it becomes, I don't know, like it's a constant process. Like even me recently, I just, this week, it's only Tuesday, but I've just been in a space of, you know what, I don't even care about that anymore, because I'm not, that's not me. I'm not heading in that direction. I don't belong to that. I'm this and that's that. So I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. I don't need to take this type of client. I don't need to do this type of side work. I'm just not doing it anymore, and things are going to work out. They will work out because, I'm aligning myself with the right things, doing what I need to do, trying to work smart, working hard, expanding my horizons, really putting forth more of an effort to, leverage other tools for, in the case of my business, to make sales, to grow clientele, to build a bigger volume of business, to get the word out there more. That's my personal thing. But yours might be, you know what, I'm not going to take jobs working in take this library job. I'm not going to keep staying in this library job. I've saved some money. I'm going to step out and be courageous, and I'm going to hit the ground running and go to all the networking events, because I want to be an accountant. I don't know. Oh wait, but let's say you want to be a bookkeeper if you don't have like an accounting degree and CPA, if that's what you want. I'm headed in the direction of accounting. So I'm looking for bookkeeper jobs. So I'm going to hit the ground running. I'm going to update my LinkedIn. I'm going to go to career fairs, networking events. I'm going to hit up all, the universities. Maybe they need somebody in their accounting departments. I'm going to see what corporations might be hiring. I'm going to hit up my town's small, accountants' offices. I'm going to do everything. Maybe H&R Block or somebody's hiring, if, that's kind of a permissible thing for you to do. But just, then your focus becomes surrounding yourself with that thing, with everything that's in the accounting field. And sure enough, you're going to land yourself an opportunity, a position, some way to get yourself closer to that goal. So that's basically what it is. You're going to have to say no to some things and step out of your comfort zone, and you're going to have to plan and be strategic, but you're also, sometimes it might not feel right, or I won't say it might not feel right, but sometimes you might feel like, oh, but this is like a little bit counterintuitive, or yeah, but this is predictable. I don't want to leave this space and, and head toward the direction I want to go in right now. Maybe I need a little more time. But if you stay there long enough, you will hopefully get to the point where you're like, screw this. I'll figure everything else out, but I gotta, piece out of this, place I'm currently in, and I need better. I deserve better. I plan to do better, to have better. So it's time for me to make some moves. And that's what you do. And it's perfectly okay to do that. You might have to, maybe you work a day and a night job and you need your nights to like rehearse. Maybe you're a singer, or I don't know, maybe you are doing something that requires more time, and the nighttime is the only time you can work on your craft. Or if you know, obviously if you're a singer or whatever, you're performing at night, opening yourself up to more opportunities to perform, or even to just go to venues and meet people, things like that. So yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes you're just gonna have to like step out and um move yourself more in that direction. Surround yourself with more of that thing that you want, more of what you want to do. Take more risks. Put yourself make more connections in that field. You know, put yourself where you need to be. Go to the blessing, as I told someone. Actually, that's one of my. That's probably my like my first story time. The one where the ex-con guy like came up to me, long story, that turned motivational. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. I think I'm gonna end that video here because I want to do maybe a couple tonight, maybe like 3 tonight. So yeah, comment below if you want to hear more about this, or tell me your story. If you like this type of video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. There's tons of motivation and productivity stuff on there. So that's that. Yeah, so on that note, be well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.